Zanskar, the what now? Another hidden gem you've never heard of? Oh look. Another travel article promising to unveil a hidden gem. This time, our undiscovered paradise is Zanskar. Never heard of it? Don't worry, you're not alone. It's nestled somewhere in the Indian Himalayas, a place so remote it makes Wyoming look like Times Square on New Year's Eve. They call it the last Himalayan kingdom, which sounds terribly romantic and adventurous, doesn't it? The truth is, last probably just means it's the one place modern conveniences decided to skip on their world tour. But there's a certain allure to that, isn't there? The idea of going somewhere that hasn't been Instagrammed to death. Zanskar, they say, offers stunning landscapes. Of course it does, it's the Himalayas. But it's the journey and the culture that supposedly make it unique. So why Zanskar? Why drag yourself halfway across the world to a place where the air is thin and the roads are thinner? Perhaps it's the bragging rights. Or maybe, just maybe, it's a genuine desire to see something truly different, something that hasn't been homogenized by the relentless march of global tourism. It's a challenge, an experience, and quite possibly a terrible mistake, but hey, that's what travel's all about, right? Getting to Zanskar isn't so much a journey as it is an extreme sport. You fly into Leh where your lungs feel like deflated balloons. From there, the real adventure begins. The road to Zanskar is a series of rocks, potholes, and sheer drops, driven by men who possess a level of calm that is frankly unsettling. The views are spectacular, snow-capped peaks, blue skies, and deep valleys, until your driver overtakes on a blind curve with a 1,000-foot drop. You'll spend days bouncing along these roads. Dust will coat your clothes, your hair, your very soul, and just when you think you can't take anymore, a breathtaking vista appears. Frequent stops for tea at roadside shacks teach you patience and humility. But hey, at least the air is fresh, if a little thin. One of the main draws of Zanskar, apart from the near-death road trip, is its collection of ancient Buddhist monasteries. These aren't your shiny, newly renovated spiritual centers with gift shops selling artisanal incense. These are the real-deal centuries-old structures clinging precariously to cliff faces. Places like Puktal Monastery, which you can only reach by a multi-day trek. These monasteries are repositories of ancient wisdom, vibrant culture, and occasionally, a monk who knows the password to the surprisingly slow satellite internet. Inside you'll find dimly lit prayer halls, filled with the scent of burning juniper and yak butter lamps. The walls are adorned with intricate murals depicting fierce deities and serene Buddhas, painted by monks hundreds of years ago. The monks themselves are a fascinating bunch, ranging from cherubic young novices to wizened old lamas whose faces are maps of 1,000 winters. The rooms are basic, the food is even more basic, and the plumbing is often an adventure in itself. But there's a certain charm to it all, a simplicity that's increasingly rare in our hyper-connected, overly complicated world. The culture of Zanskar is often described as vibrant and unique. It's a fascinating mix of Tibetan Buddhism, ancient Bon traditions, and the sheer pragmatism required to survive in a place where winter lasts for 7 months. The local festivals are a highlight. Think fewer flower crowns and more terrifying masks, designed to scare away evil spirits. The Gustor festival, for example, involves monks in elaborate costumes performing sacred cham dances. Local traditions are deeply ingrained in daily life. Hospitality is paramount, and you'll likely be invited into homes for a cup of butter tea. The Zanskari people are incredibly resilient and resourceful. They have to be. Living in such a harsh environment fosters a strong sense of community and a deep connection to the land. Interacting with the locals is often the most rewarding part of a trip to Zanskar. They are generally warm, friendly, and possess a wicked sense of humor. It's a reminder that despite the geographical isolation, people are people everywhere. Section 5. The Great Zanskari. Digital Detox. Your phone's new career as a paperweight. In our hyper-connected world, the thought of being without Wi-Fi for more than, say, 5 minutes can induce a mild panic attack in the average person. Well, welcome to Zanskar, where your smartphone will quickly discover its true calling, an expensive, elegantly designed paperweight. Internet access here is a mythical creature, spoken of in hushed tones, occasionally sighted in a government office or a particularly fancy guest house. And when you do find it, it operates at speeds that make dial-up look like fiber optic. The first few days, you'll find yourself instinctively reaching for your phone every 30 seconds, only to be met with the dreaded no service message. You'll experience phantom vibrations, you'll wonder what witty tweet you're missing, what crucial email is languishing unread. But then, something strange happens. You start to relax. you start to notice the world around you. Without the constant distraction of notifications and updates, your senses sharpen. You become more present in the moment. You might even find yourself enjoying the simple act of sitting and staring into space. Of course, there are practical downsides. Trying to confirm a booking, check the weather forecast, or let your loved ones know you haven't been eaten by a yeti can be a challenge. But it also forces you to be more resourceful, to rely on local knowledge, and to embrace uncertainty. Section 6, Last Himalayan Kingdom. A title that sounds more impressive than it is, probably. Zanskar proudly bills itself as the last Himalayan kingdom. It's a catchy slogan, isn't it? Evokes images of ancient dynasties, regal splendor, and perhaps a king who occasionally pops out to wave at tourists. The reality, as is often the case with marketing, is a little less Game of Thrones and a little more, well, complicated. Historically, Zanskar was indeed an independent kingdom, with its own rulers and a distinct cultural identity. It was a remote, self-sufficient entity, largely cut off from the outside world by the formidable mountain ranges that surround it. This isolation helped preserve its unique traditions and way of life for centuries. But last? That's where things get a bit fuzzy. What exactly does it mean to be the last kingdom? The title certainly adds an air of mystique and urgency, a sense that you need to visit before it becomes just another stop on the backpacker trail. The truth is, Zanskar's kingdom status today is more symbolic than literal. It's part of India, specifically the Union Territory of Ladakh. Section 7. The locals, suspiciously cheerful people in a land of frozen toilets. One of the most striking things about Zanskar, apart from the constant feeling that you might fall off a cliff, is the disposition of its inhabitants. These are people who live in an environment that would make a polar bear think twice. Winters are brutal, resources are scarce, and the nearest decent supermarket is a multi-day, bone-jarring jeep ride away. And yet, the Zanskaris are, by and large, remarkably cheerful. They smile, they laugh. They offer you tea, even when you look like something the cat dragged in, then dragged back out, then dragged through a hedge backwards. It's almost suspicious. What do they know that we don't? Perhaps it's the altitude. Maybe the thin air induces a state of perpetual mild euphoria. Or perhaps it's a testament to the human spirit, its incredible resilience and ability to find joy in the simplest things. You'll see children playing with boundless energy, their laughter echoing in the crisp mountain air. You'll meet elderly women, their faces etched with the lines of 1,000 stories, who greet you with a warmth that could melt a glacier. It's humbling, and it makes you feel a bit pathetic for complaining about a slow Wi-Fi connection or a delayed Amazon delivery. Their cheerfulness, far from being suspicious, is perhaps their greatest strength, a defiant assertion of joy in the face of adversity. Section 8. So, was it worth almost losing a kidney over? Spoiler, maybe. After days of being jolted like a martini in a James Bond film, after subsisting on a diet that makes astronaut food look gourmet, after enduring the indignity of outdoor toilets in sub-zero temperatures, you might find yourself asking, was it worth it? The answer, much like the Zanskari roads, is not straightforward. It's a resounding, unequivocal maybe, with a strong leaning towards yes, probably, I think. There are moments, usually when you're clinging to a cliff edge or trying to communicate with a yak herder using only interpretive dance, when you will seriously question your sanity. You'll miss hot showers, you'll miss Wi-Fi, you'll miss food that doesn't primarily consist of barley flour and salty tea, you'll dream of paved roads and comfortable beds. These are the moments when Zanskar feels less like an adventure and more like an elaborate form of self-punishment. But then, there are other moments. Moments when you stand on a windswept pass, surrounded by an amphitheater of snow-capped giants. Moments when you share a laugh with a monk whose eyes twinkle with ancient wisdom and a surprisingly modern sense of humor. Moments when you sit under a canopy of stars so bright they feel close enough to touch. These are the moments that make all the hardships, all the discomfort, all the near-death experiences fade into insignificance. Zanskar gets under your skin. It's not an easy place, not a comfortable place, but it is an undeniably powerful place. Section 9. Bringing Zanskar home, mostly just dust and an unshakable urge for pizza. So you've survived Zanskar, you've braved the roads, befriended the monks, and developed an unhealthy tolerance for butter tea. What now? You'll bring back dust. Lots of dust. It will be in your luggage, in your hair, in your ears, and quite possibly in your soul. Then there are the souvenirs. Authentic Zanskari souvenirs are a bit more rustic. You'll also return with an unshakable craving for all the foods you couldn't get in Zanskar. Pizza, burgers. You'll appreciate hot showers like never before. You'll greet reliable Wi-Fi with the enthusiasm of a long-lost lover. Zanskar has a way of recalibrating your appreciation for the mundane.